Hi, Dr. Rudy Kachmann with a special guest today on our wellness show, and I'm sure you probably know her already, Patty Hunter from her show,
Hi.
Patty Page.
Patty's Page, oh my goodness.
I've been on her show, and now she is on mine.
About time on his page.
She says it's about time, okay. I love to have her on the show because we laugh a lot. And you don't have to do anything. That leads to wellness in herself. She also has been coming to my clinic, if you don't mind me saying, at the Three Rivers, where I teach some people about health, and just like all of us, we got something going, and she's got type 2 diabetes, but it's getting rid of it. Remember the name of the show? Preventing, stopping, and reversing type 2 diabetes.
Right.
And Patty's been doing some of that. And one of the things I mentioned to her, which I think is 50% of it, because we try to keep it as simple as possible, is to have a smoothie every day. Okay, and I'm going to have Patty explain to me in a minute what she puts on hers. And I like people to have at least 7 or 10 recipes. They can go to Facebook Kachmann. There's some on there, and other ways of getting them. Some famous books too, which I'm going to hold up. But Patty's definitely has had some success at reversing this condition because she once, like me, lived to be 100, and like you.
Right.
So Patty, what do you put in your smoothies?
Well, first of all, I put in the fruit, either like strawberries or blueberries and bananas. Mm-hmm. And then I put in kale. Mm-hmm. How many handful?
Yeah, a handful of kale.
Several handfuls of kale, because you're going to be mixing it for 2 people, you know.
Yeah. Her husband's having the same problem. She's doing it for 2, so she has a lot, 2 or 3 handfuls of kale in it.
And flaxseed.
And flax seeds she adds to it.
Yeah.
And incidentally, you can buy the fruit now at Costco, and I think Kroger's too, prepackaged. It'll say on there for smoothies. Yeah, I have a big thing at home.
Oh,
and the little bags for 2 smoothies. Make it very simple for you and very fresh, because they took the fruits and froze it immediately, which makes it very fresh. And organic. Mm-hmm. And do you put some nuts in it?
Well, I'm already a nut. I don't need any nuts in there, but I do put almond juice. Almond milk?
Almond milk.
Almond milk.
Yeah. And this is a good habit too. Don't put regular milk in there. Well, put some almond milk, water also.
I don't really put water in unless
no water, just almond milk. That's fine.
And sometimes we use chocolate.
Now and then she's cheating a little, but chocolate actually a certain amount can be a health food.
As long as it's not sweetened chocolate, you know. I can't have that many sweets because I'm diabetic, you know. I'm sweet enough, I don't need any more sugar.
Yeah, she's sweet enough. I testify to that. Cocoa would probably be a little better. Add a few nuts, a little bit of ginger, a little curcumin.
What kind of nuts?
Almond nuts.
Almond nuts, yeah.
And there can be other nuts too. I'm not that specific. Walnuts can be better because what they do is increase the absorbability of the nutrients that are in it. You see, what I'm trying to do with a smoothie, Patty, is that it breaks up the cellular structure of the things you put in it, which can be frozen vegetables, frozen fruit, fresh vegetable. You just add a banana to it and an apple to it, besides the frozen things. And I want to increase the nutrient density in your life. Vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, they run the machinery of your body. No diet. I'm not saying any diet.
You have to watch what you eat, no breads.
Yeah, and if you eat,
no bread.
I say a smoothie a day will keep the doctor away. And then now, the next meal, for example, at least one of the other 2 meals, 3 meals a day, okay? None of the starvation business. Have a big bowl or something.
Cereal in the morning, and oatmeal.
And if you need something in addition to the smoothie, to some oatmeal, steel cut oats, for example, but stay away from the sugary stuff. You're not going to have sugary corn flakes or things like that. Okay, but oats or steel cut oats
with apple.
Slices apple, a little fruit cup if you want. If you need bread, Ezekiel bread.
Oh, that's good.
And you get that in the freezer section because it has nutrients in it. It will rot if you keep it out. So you keep it in the refrigerator. If you're not, it does have gluten in it. So if you got a gluten problem, you can't do that.
Yeah, but I have a gluten problem.
You have a gluten problem, so you can't be. Ezekiel bread is not on your list.
Well, what am I allowed to eat instead? Oh my goodness!
Are you gluten,
a lot of stuff.
Are you gluten sensitive? Or yeah, gluten sensitive, which means gluten in some of the foods, right?
Yes.
Yeah, gluten is another problem.
So what am I allowed to eat?
What are you?
Rice bread?
Yeah, and healthy food. No.
No.
And but the next thing is the big bowl of fresh vegetables. You can add some nuts if you're not allergic to it.
No,
some seeds. Dr. Furman would say you increase your absorbability of your nutrients 10 times if you add some seeds to it. And the reason
sunflower seeds?
Yeah. Flax seeds, for example.
Yeah.
Couscous, for example.
Yes.
Yeah. And increase the absorbability tremendously. So we get this. Say for lunch, we have this big salad bowl, and for dinner, beans or peas.
That's it?
And you eat this way, you probably get rid of diabetes in a month.
How about
you can eat a little bit of meat, a little turkey, a little chicken, but chicken is 40% fat. And you can't be eating beef and lamb and pork chops. They're so full of fat, cancer factors. It's very unhealthy for you. One cancer will eat that kind of meat.
So we should go veggie?
And no, I don't want you to be vegetarian. No, I don't want. You're not a vegan. You're not vegetarian. You're nutritarian. I'm glad you brought that, Patty. You're a nutrient-dense person. You want to eat nutrient-dense food, and there's no limit to the amount that you eat, because the vitamins, the minerals, the phytochemicals in this food will turn your appetite off. Yeah, when you have a smoothie in the morning, like I did this morning, I just haven't been hungry for a long time because my nutrient need has been met.
Yeah.
That's the problem with fast food. It has no nutrients. People are eating all day long trying to get the nutrients, and they eat so much food and so many
really
calories,
starving.
And they gain a lot of weight because they eat so much calorie-dense food out of fast food restaurants.
And your body could be starving for the right nutrients and everything like that if you eat
You're right,
the wrong
Patty.
food.
Yeah, you're right. Your body could be starving, looking for the nutrients, and you keep on eating and shoveling and shoveling because
carbohydrates.
Full of refined sugars. Sugar, you know this one. You'll love this, Patty, because I just talked at Trine University the other day. The students remember with a little bit of poetry, so I use what's called spoken word. Sugar is a booger and a hooker. Then you remembered. See, that's the only thing you may remember.
Pretty good one.
Yeah, and I do it to a little bit of music. You know, if I rule the world, sugar's a booger and a hooker. And I like to give 2 books I like to recommend, which I think are very good, and I think you've had a look at some of these.
Yeah.
One is, he was just in town too, Dr. Joel Furman.
Oh, I missed him.
Yeah, not everybody knew he was coming. I don't think it was well advertised. Dr. Furman, End of Diabetes. My name is in the book, actually. Yeah, we sold 2 million copies.
Wow.
Yeah, I reviewed it for him. I didn't write it, he wrote it. But it's exactly what I agree with. And what he's a great website too. And does some personal coaching via Skype and things. Yeah, he was in town. He said he wouldn't come unless he could stay in my house. And then he said he wouldn't come unless I played him tennis. Yeah, I beat him last time. So
you
2 hours.
Tennis?
So 2 hours the day of his lecture at the First Assembly Church. We had about 300 people, I think. And we played tennis for 2 hours to a tie. So he didn't win us either, because people from Fort Wayne, like Mark Duster, was visiting him in Colorado at one of his camps, and he said, "You're from Fort Wayne?" "Yeah." He said, "You know this Kachmann guy?" He said, "He beat me in tennis last time." He says, "I'm going to go to Fort Wayne just to beat him in tennis, and then I'll give a lecture." I'm not sure that's true, but it's a nice story anyway. Yeah, we
that's
played
my story.
2 hours to a tiebreaker. Then we went and had a wonderful lecture. And what he teaches us is nutrient-dense eating. and he used the word, he's a nutritarian. Well, he's right. And so if you eat that way, so that's a very good book to read. And the other one is Goodbye Diabetes by Dr. Wes Youngberg. Excellent book. And he went to the island of Guam years ago. The Japanese had flattened the island, and they were eating, instead of beautiful fish and vegetables, they're now eating imported American food.
That's not good.
Yeah, and 95% became diabetic. These gorgeous, I mean gorgeous natives, like Columbus described natives of a beauty because they were eating good food. And there's mathematics in good food and Fibonacci numbers, so the natives were beautiful. But then he started eating American food, and there's pictures of them in the book. Very unpleasant situation. They all developed diabetes. They died young. Many were on dialysis. But Dr. Youngberg went in there and taught them how to eat right and developed a system of testing for diabetes to catch it much earlier, which is in one of those sheets I hang out in my lectures for free. Which you can get a hold of one of those. Early testing. Diabetes is diagnosed too late many times.
Yes.
Early testing. Excellent
Juvenile
book.
diabetes?
What?
What about juvenile diabetes?
Yeah, juvenile diabetes is a good question. I mean, what's the difference? Juvenile diabetes is usually due to lack of insulin. Okay, it's a term just kind of going out. They call it they call it type 1 diabetes now, but that's what it used to be called. Because what happens, that type 2 diabetics, where there's too much insulin, in the type 1 or juvenile is a lack of insulin. Then they invented insulin in around 1920, Banting and Best, and it saved their lives. Many of them were in intensive care and they were dying. The diet that they were teaching before that was actually high fat, low sugar. Which actually was working for some of them. Yeah. So as soon as the Banting and Best discovered insulin, guess what they did at Harvard? They switched back and gave them high sugar, low fat diets.
That's not good.
Which was a wrong thing, totally wrong thing. For 30 years they wouldn't admit it. And their main clinic at Harvard, really, that killed a lot of people. But now people are waking up again, although the government still doesn't come out and say, sugar is the problem. Like the American Diabetic Association, they'll tell you fat is the problem. Well, they happen to be wrong. And it's a problem. And all these books confirm what I'm saying. I'm just saying what I read and what I experience, and many patients have lost their diabetes. I had a truck driver at Planet Fitness, weighed 380. I work out there a couple of times a week, and one Saturday morning he's there and he says, "Doc, remember me?" And I look at him. No, I didn't remember him. He weighed 210 now.
Wow.
210. And he says, "Last year you spoke to me." He was in California. He says, "I weighed 380. And you gave me a half-hour talk in the locker room about diabetes," which I did. I didn't remember it because too long ago, and he don't look the same. He's transported buffalo meat from California to New York, and some to Fort Wayne, which I know because of the restaurant next door. Okay. Cat of Blue, and I was in there the other day having lunch with someone, and I see in the menu it said
Bison.
Buffalo meat. So I think he's delivering there also, which is healthier than a lot of meats.
Do you have a cookbook?
Yeah, and he weighed 210 now, looked like a movie star because the mathematics, the Fibonacci numbers that are in good food will reflect in your body because in nature the plants are symmetrical. So if you eat symmetry, you become symmetry. I have many examples of that. Come to my lectures. I'll show you 2 or 3 people that weigh like 300 pounds who now look like movie stars. Why is that? They're eating a 80-90% plant diet. Incidentally, Patty, you point out a good thing. Both of these books have in them about a third of the book are recipes. Although, suppose you have this problem and you don't want to read a lot, you get diabetes. I suggest to read a book called Quick Fix by same author, Dr. Joel Fuhrman. Dr. Joel Fuhrman, same guy, called Quick Fix. And he has pictures of all the recipes in there, including smoothies, soups, desserts, maybe a picture of every one. and use that book. If you get type 2 diabetes, okay?
Yeah, I have type 2.
And you use that book, and that's the only way you cook for a month or two, you won't have the disease 90% of the time. That's true, scientifically based on many other books. I know this to be a fact. But you gotta, you gotta make up your mind. I don't want this disease. Well, why don't you want this disease? Because type 2 diabetes, what are the cause? Dementia. The biggest cause of dementia, memory loss, they'll call it Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah.
They have a race in here last weekend, and Eli Lilly sponsored it because they're looking for a drug. One drug will not solve this problem.
No.
3 companies have given up research on Alzheimer's disease because there's no answer. Of course there's no answer. The answer is it's in nutrition. They need to teach the people to eat right. Of course, when you eat right, you don't need insulin. Who makes a lot of insulin? Lilies.
And where do the insulin come from?
To do the research, I think it's great. But at the same time, they should be maybe putting some money into proper nutrition, not just a walk. Exercise is 20% of it, 10% of it. Nutrition is a lot more important. And you have a question there, Patty?
I don't sleep very well.
And
I don't.
She's speaking about sleep deprivation, and
I always feel hungry in the morning.
And you always feel hungry. And the point is, Patty, you got to do that smoothie every day. And for you, maybe
yes, ma'am.
You need to do that smoothie in the evenings, so your nutrient need has been met, and you won't be seeking sugar. Or be ready for a snack before you go to bed. What could be a snack? A pear. I have a pear. I have an apple, or I have a banana. I snack something before I go to bed. For the last 3 nights, I've been having a pear. I'm sound asleep, and it can't be something like a donut. You know what I mean?
It can't be like Pepsi or
Coke. Or Pepsi. Or drinks, sugary drinks, are 50% of being overweight. So most type 2 diabetics are overweight. 25% are not. So I always tell people you are
what you eat,
what you eat, and what your blood work is. Actually, you say, well, what you eat. That's not totally true though, because calorie in, calorie out has been disproven. Partly because if you eat mainly vegetables, you'll not digest half of them, and they'll come out in the end, Patty. And
that too shall pass.
Undigested. Mm-hmm. But if you eat highly sugary foods or fatty foods, it all gets digested. So to eat a high fiber, that's the answer. High fiber foods of color. Have a smoothie, have a salad. In the evening, have some beans or peas, and add some
nuts.
Some nuts. Mm-hmm. You can make some soups. If you get the Quick Fix book, you can see. And
do you have it here?
Great recipes. I don't have it with me this minute because everybody's grabbing it from me, even at the pharmacy where I always get some for sale. Not a profit to me. I sell it what I have to buy it for.
Oh boy.
The pharmacist, Sheila Walker, told me the other day that she's constantly out of the book. And I said, well, I'm surprised because that's the easiest path so learn to cook. If you're eating out twice a day, it's not going to work out for you.
It's not going to work at all.
Yeah.
You never know what they put in the food.
Yeah. Yeah, because in a restaurant, every time I eat in a restaurant, I come out 2 pounds higher.
Right.
Partly, I think, salt, Patty. You know what I mean?
Salt and sugar. And
salt and sugar. In a few days, it corrects a little bit because, I get rid of the salt. But eating out once a day, it could be a problem. And if you get diabetes,
defeats the whole problem. Really.
Defeats the whole problem. I think you get diabetes. I get used to eating at home, cooking yourself, and maybe you learn 2 or 3 restaurants. Cork and Cleaver, Chappelle's, 2. They have great salad bars.
Mm-hmm. Salad, yeah.
Yeah, I go there after tennis one night a week, and great salad bars. And if you eat only the salad bar, you're in good shape.
How about eating fish?
And I think eating fish, if it's from the ocean, find out, because I'll go to restaurants sometimes. I went to the country club and I asked them, where the fish came from, and they said from Scotland. So I researched it a little bit. Well,
Yeah, right.
it wasn't from Scotland. It was from a fish pond.
All right.
And
You don't want,
and
you want wild.
eat what the animal ate.
Right.
So if that fish ate bad food, you're eating bad food, and that animal ate corn, genetically modified
can't
corn.
handle corn.
Did I want that for good health? No. And I was sitting there with the president of Pizza Hut, actually. At the time, he didn't know that. So you got to ask the waiter, where did this come from? They may not like you doing it, but most waiters are very nice. And if you instruct them, I want a big plate of vegetables, I don't want any oils on them, for example, they'll do it. They'll do it. And especially, some waiters you get to know. But eating out is indeed a problem. I think every restaurant should have a nutrient, not to say vegetarian, a nutrient-dense alternative. 20% of food.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we have a food desert in this area, and that's the reason we're like ranked 37th in the world in health in the United States. We're like 40 or something in this county.
Oh.
Yeah, in this county. But something good may be on the way. A friend of mine is running for mayor, and he said he would make me the health czar. I didn't ask for that, but I think he gets a message. He gets a message. You think I'd be sitting around doing nothing? I doubt it.
Yeah.
Don't you think I'd be probably at every corporate headquarters, every school, every TV show, every radio show I get my hands on to spread the message? It's not about me. It's about getting people healthy. When half the people are pre-diabetic or diabetic, we're going to get 50 to 70 diseases.
Right.
That's a lot of suffering. That's a lot of cost, and that's not good for this great town. We're having a rejuvenation of this city, no doubt about it. It's going on, man.
There's many restaurants coming out now.
We're getting more restaurants. Some will be good. Some will be more choice, but some will be not so good. And but we ourselves must gain knowledge. And this is, what I'm trying to provide for you is knowledge to make choices. We're not against new restaurants, but they must, if you ask the waiter for healthy food, they must provide it for you.
Salt-free, sugar-free.
Yeah, salt-free, sugar-free.
No sauces or anything.
Yeah, and there are parts of the country where this is common knowledge, and we're living in an area, a little bit of a food desert. Right. Although times are changing. Patty, you and I are here. We're part of the change. You're changing, and you think if I ate perfectly all my life, heck no, my dad had a deli in New York. And I used to eat those bad meats and everything. I'm just amazed that at this tender age, 39, I'm still alive.
When I was young, I was hypoglycemic.
Is that right?
And then I took a medicine called Lipitor.
Yeah.
I became pre-diabetic and then full diabetic.
What age did you become pre-diabetic and diabetic?
In my 30s.
In your 30s? That's many times when it occurs. Yeah. But I have to compliment you, Patty. You're living up to it. You're willing to spread the word. You're doing it yourself. And everybody's different. Everybody has a different rate of doing it. And we have to, and I respect that.
I don't hold it in because if something is going to harm someone, like eating too much sugar, I mean, the blood sugar goes sky high. I remember a couple of times when I just started to find out that I was diabetic, I landed in a hospital and had to have insulin because it went up to 400 instead of 120, my blood sugar count. I didn't know. And a friend of mine died of diabetes type 2. She had 700.
Is that right?
It just shut down her whole system. That's why I'm so adamant trying to lose weight, no more sugar. You're not allowed to have any sugar?
Oh, no, you can have some sugar, but you don't want to add sugar.
No add sugar or salt.
And then if you send, say, one meal a week, violation like that isn't at the end. You just start over. Don't beat yourself. Even myself, if tonight, after seeing those patients in a couple of TV shows, and I go home and meeting you, Patty,
poor kid.
and I'm stressed out. And if there's a donut laying there when I grab it, I might grab it. I get away with it because I, weigh 134 pounds, and I'm pretty steady at that.
Well, I'm trying to lose weight. It's not that easy with me.
So I'll probably get away with it, especially I'm playing tennis tomorrow, and I get a walk in nature in the morning, So I might exercise some of it off. But you got to be at least 90% compliant.
Yes.
And at least while you're trying to get rid of the disease,
right.
which is possible 90% of the time. And the good news is, Rudy's good news is, it can be done in a month.
Yeah.
Mark Kachmann, another famous author, Blood Sugar Solutions, would say your blood sugars probably return to normal in a week. Yeah, in a week. And I think he's got a big point and how important it is. So, Patty, when's your next show?
My next show is tomorrow night at 5:30. And
5:30?
Yes.
Same station?
Same station, Access 1.
Access 1. Okay.
I am so glad to be on your show.
Thanks for being on my show, and I hope to be on your show again.
I will.
We're fellow travelers. We're spreading the word. If you get other ideas, come to my lectures at Lutheran Hospital once a month. Facebook, Kachmann Live to Be 100. You can find the information in my next talk. We're doing a lot of writing books, radio, TV, Patty. That reminds me, I'm supposed to go to dinner at the house within a week or so.
Yeah.
Always something seems to come
Always
up.
something.
But you showed up for my show, so I'm showing up for your show. And it better be something healthy, Patty.
Oh, boy. Well, we got to go now.
I enjoyed doing this show with you. It's nice to have a fellow traveler here. And we have to be thankful to public access for doing what they do, 15 years I've been doing it. How many years you been doing it?
9 years.
9 years? We're growing up.
Oh, yeah.
We're growing up. We're just teenagers. We'll be doing it.
Forever.
Patty and I will be doing it as long as we can talk.
I should be so lucky to live 100.
You're going to live to be 100. See you at the gate. I hope I'm number 2.
Well.
Thanks for watching. Obviously, Patty and I are doing this because we love you. We care about you. Namaste.
Behave.
And
but enjoy life too.
And enjoy life. Sing a song. Dance a little.